So it's just you and I for now. 7:01, 7:02 p.m. on the East Coast. And how the hell are you feeling so far? Well, what a day. Tonight we're going to be talking about a little bit of... I got a room full of comedians. What I'm going to do. Don't want to get too serious. But we have to talk a little bit about the Matt Gaetz withdrawal. And then I have an article in the second half I think it is really fun. It's from the New York Post. The question is, are you dating a red pill guy? Well, here are dark tactics that they use on women according to their exes. Got to watch out for those red pillars. And then I have a little bit of a follow-up to that from none other than Benjamin Franklin by way of Adam Krigler, which I just love this. I've read it before, but I love seeing this again showing up on Adam's page. Other than that, there is a little bit more on the new media side of things, and just talking and picking things apart. It should be fun. I think it'll be fun. Why the hell not? So let's just get into it right now. The first thing up is from The Star. Now, this is sad. And I'm sure with Chrissie being as hormonal as she probably still is, being a new mom and breastfeeding and all that stuff, this would probably break her to pieces. So maybe it's a good thing that she's not here. No, I'll tell her. When she shows up, I'll tell her anyway, because I want to see if she cries. Here's the headline. World's saddest dolphin. World's saddest dolphin recorded talking to himself because he has no mates. This really broke my heart. Dell might possibly be the loneliest dolphin in the world, spending his time adrift from other members of his species and desperately chatting to himself to pass the time. Look at that loser. I don't know why he's smiling. He's got nothing to smile about. A lonely bottlenose dolphin in the Baltic Sea with no friends may have started chatting to himself in order to stay cheerful. A new study has suggested the male dolphin, named Dell, by locals, has perplexed scientists because he traipses round the world on his Todd. Experts have observed Dell drifting into the Svenborgsund Channel in Denmark, which is far outside the usual range of the species. Bottlenose dolphins are highly sociable animals and have been known to call each other with signature whistles. Dell seems to be whistling to an audience of just one. Man, is this sad. Is anybody else getting sadder as I read it? I hope so. That's what I'm here for tonight. Let's see. No, this music is too cheerful. Is there something sadder? I need a sad song. Hold on, I know what I can do. Wait. Sad song. No. Schindler's List theme. This should be real sad. Oh, don't need any more of that. Anyway, Jussie Smollett. The conviction for racist, homophobic attack hoax has been tossed in a stunning reversal. Can you imagine that? Disgraced actor Jussie Smollett, who is now a punchline, has had his conviction for lying about a fake racist homophobic attack in downtown Chicago thrown out by the Illinois Supreme Court on a technicality. What is that? In a shocking twist, the court found that the former Empire actor had his Fifth Amendment rights violated by a special prosecutor's decision to try him after initial charges against him were previously dropped. Smollett, 42 years old, who is black and gay, just claimed two men in Make America Great Again hats assaulted him, two Nigerian men in Make America Great Again hats assaulted him in the dead of night in January of 2019, approaching him out of nowhere in the darkness and declaring this is MAGA country before the attack. That's it. Well, he's out now. So they called him all types of slurs, and now he's out because of a technicality. So that's is this where it ends? I don't know. He'll go on a reunion tour one day. He'll probably go find the two Nigerian brothers. They'll go on a tour, almost like they'll bring vaudeville back. And every night they'll reenact it on stage just as a novelty. Maybe they'll get a residency at Vegas. Jussie Smollett, vaudeville, MAGA Country Vaudeville act with the two Nigerian brothers. They just get chased everywhere and, get shot. You remember the rope? You remember the noose? Oh, man. When we first saw the body camera footage of the police officer showing up at Jussie's apartment, and he still had the silly string noose just draped over his shoulder. It looked like silly string. What was that? What is that? A noose? No self-respecting racist would ever make a noose like that. But the comedy really peaked. It started to peak around that time. That's when it started getting harder and harder to do actual comedy. All you had to do was just watch what was going on around you. But this isn't funny. The Ukraine war becoming global that people are talking about after Western long-range weapons used against Russia, says Putin. On Thursday, President Vladimir Putin issued a stern warning in the wake of Ukraine launching long-range strikes on Russia in its territory, utilizing newly approved U.S. and U.K. long-range missiles. Kiev has launched a long-range missile strike against military facilities located within the internationally recognized Russian territory, began his television address by saying, Putin did, he confirmed the British-made Storm Shadow missiles and U.S.-made HIMARS were fired targets located on Bryansk and Kursk regions. He said the actions threatened to turn Ukraine conflict into a global war. A regional Ukraine conflict instigated by the West has acquired elements of a global one. You know, at the very least, they're trying to make Donald Trump come in and have a stern footing with Putin when it has to be absolutely. I don't want to see any softening of positions here. We have to sue for peace. Got to stop this. And every nominee that Donald Trump makes, I wish, but there's already some softies. There's already some soft picks out there. And what's just happened with Matt Gaetz, you know what? I'm not a card-carrying member of the Matt Gaetz fan club. I don't give a shit if he really has problems or if this really is just about not being able to get votes, because that's what we have right now. I saw the Jack Posobiec put this out not too long ago. Said Mitch McConnell was, quote, a hard no on Gaetz, along with three other senators, Murkowski, Collins, and Curtis. This kept him one vote under the threshold for confirmation. So some people are saying, listen, the DOJ had nothing on Gaetz. They weren't going to charge him. Whatever the hell the ethics committee was coming up with is, I mean, he's not in the House anymore. That should be zipped up and there's nothing there. Whatever you are on that, it's secondary to the fact that whoever the hell is nominated for this position needs to be a firebrand, needs to be what they consider, and I mean Murkowski, Collins, Curtis, Mitch McConnell, whoever the hell else, Mitt Romney, they need to be considered radical. Okay? Radical. That's what's going on here. So, regardless the reason as to why Gaetz has made this a point, said, I don't want to be a distraction, everybody's going to be a distraction. You think that they're not going to go after RFK with sexual assault stuff and they're going to be nuts. There's no time to care anymore. The most exciting thing about the prospect of a Donald Trump second term was that there was no reason to hold back ever again. That's the greatest prospect that we had going into this, that there was no reason to ever hold back ever again. I heard that there might be that we might get a Pam Bondi notification who Christiane Hall reminded me that she really is no better than Trey Gowdy and actually tried to remove guns from people and weaken the Fourth Amendment when she was the Attorney General in Florida. So I don't know. I don't know. This is just whatever the hell it is. There is no firebrand nominee that is going to get past these traitor creeps in the Republican Party. And candidates who are unanimously approved by the Republican Party, just as suspicious as bipartisan approval. Just as suspicious. Okay? I didn't know anything about Christopher Wray when he came up for nomination for the job at the FBI. But I knew everything I needed to know about him when he got, 92, 93 votes for confirmation from that Senate. That's all I needed to know. I knew that the FBI was lost, okay? And he's still the FBI director as of right now. So that should tell you a little bit about what's going on over there. So whatever the hell it is, I don't know. How the Trump transition team could possibly misjudge the viability of Matt Gaetz if this was the switcheroo, if it was just, hey, listen, we have Marco Rubio. Like, here's a scenario that I can get behind a little bit, is that Matt Gaetz was really just a switcheroo to try to flush out and the Senate a little bit more, because there's no reason why he had to resign. No reason why he had to resign. Eventually he would have had to, but there was no reason for him to do it right now. So we were thinking, what if this was to present like a sleight of hand, present as a very, very, unlikely to be confirmed kind of a pick, who then gets inserted into the Senate for Marco Rubio, who's just in state, and then perhaps Donald Trump can fire Marco Rubio in a couple of months, and then we have Marco Rubio out of government altogether. That'd be nice. Then bring in a Secretary of State worth of shit. But if who is going to replace the dangled carrot of Matt Gaetz is someone like Pam Bondi, then what the fuck is the point? So everything is on very thin ice, everybody. To me, I'm going to stay hopeful, but there's no reason to hold back. No reason to hold back. And if you have to abandon Gaetz, then you have to find somebody just as nuts. Just as nuts. No doubt about it. And then there's this, real quick, before we go to our break and then bring some of our guests in here. Let us see here. I don't know, the Eric Doherty, Assistant News Director, FL Voice News. I haven't seen this anywhere else. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find more on it. This was supposedly breaking news earlier on today. Senate Democrats have agreed to allow President Trump to fill 4 crucial federal judge positions that are currently vacant, as per Fox. This is massive. Trump's effort to stonewall a major fast-tracking of radical judges has worked. The Senate has reached a time agreement to invoke cloture on 4 judicial nominations tonight and have 3 more votes tomorrow, Chuck Schumer's office said. Now, I don't know what the hell this means, and I have to find more on it. And if anybody out there has more on this situation, please send it to me or call in later on. But what does this mean? What kind of a deal? Senate Democrats, what kind of deal were they given that Senate Democrats gave even one judicial pick to Hitler? I don't get it. Does this have anything to do with Matt Gaetz? If it does, trading up on a potential 2 years of someone like Matt Gaetz, who would know exactly where the bodies would be buried and go digging around and doing his duty, trading up 2 years of that for 3 or 4 judges, that doesn't seem like an even trade. So obviously, we're just on the outside looking in as usual. And hoping a prayer, but something's really, really fishy here, and nobody's telling us what the hell's going on. Okay? All right, so with that being said, I don't know if Chrissie's here yet, but I'll bring in Geno and Keanu, and we'll just we'll get into it. All right? So thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you in a little bit, and don't go anywhere except the share button. Share it, like it, get it out to people, whether you're watching it live or on demand. It'd be wonderful to introduce me to all of your friends and family tonight. Anybody who hasn't heard about the show, bring them on in. It could be fun. Keep the kids. Watch out for the kids, though. You know, a bunch of comedians getting together. You know what happens. Everybody tries to one-up each other and get crazy. Just watch out with the kids tonight. Maybe go tell them to build some Legos in the other room. It's the adult night. I don't know. The 21st of November. Let's get it kicked off. We will be right back.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!
Wait to have a little bit of alone time with Keanu. How the hell you feeling, Keanu?
I am well. How are you doing, my love?
I'm doing well. Man, when did you guys come in the last time?
Well, oh my gosh, when was it? It must have been close to 6 months ago or something.
Yeah.
Chrissy was pregnant.
She was still pregnant.
Yes, so she had the baby, what, 7 months ago? So something like that.
It was
half a year ago.
It's an April baby.
Yeah, yes, April baby.
So it's definitely cold outside still.
Yes.
So was it still raining when you got here?
It's a little drizzly. It's misting, which is even worse than rain. But we're happy to be here.
I'm happy to. I know Geno's out there finishing up a stream of his.
Yes.
I was just doing a little bit of news and this and that, but I have some funny stuff I would love to show you.
I love it.
Yeah, and and then at the end, at the second half of the show, thank God we'll have you and Chrissy here for that, because we're getting into some incredible dating tips from some crazy people.
Ooh.
I know, crazy dating tips from crazy people.
Where shall I plug these in, these headphones?
Oh, okay. So you see those two inputs, right? You see where your wrist was just for a second.
Here, yes.
Oh, yeah. The input closest to you.
Got it. Okay.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Yes. Absolutely. So what have you been following in the news lately?
Oh, the news. It's
Anything?
hard to, isn't it? Well, isn't it a little difficult to watch? Well, happy for some people, sad for some people. I was a Trump fan, so I didn't. That's a good thing. But I always feel bad for everyone that feels bad about everything. So other than that, what have they been talking about? How about Jay Leno's face?
Oh, I saw that.
What the hell is that?
Now, he had some. I remember not too long ago, he showed up all messed up again. He got into an accident. He got into a car accident, serious one. And I remember his face was all messed up, and now it seems like he's been beaten.
He fell down a hill, he said, and hit a bunch of rocks.
Hold on.
But he has an eye patch on you. You have to see it.
I am so sorry.
It's all right. Sit right there. There you go.
I was doing a stream,
And now Geno's here.
Anyway.
and then I accidentally ended the stream because I can't even. So I just blew up the stream I was doing. I'm sorry.
Wait, where are we getting that feedback from? Did you guys hear that?
Is it me?
I don't know. We don't have feedback problems in this room.
Do you have fake knees or something I don't know about?
I don't know. Maybe I just put down Keanu's headsets a little bit. Those were up a little bit high. Maybe that was it. So wait, hold on. Keanu and I were just talking about Jay Leno's face getting all beaten to a pulp.
Not
was
that it's
that?
already not an insane looking face, but now it's all bruised and he has an eye patch.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Hold on. I didn't see the eye patch. Let's get hold on. Then, of course, pop-ups. Jay Leno says he injured his face.
He fell down a hill,
All right, let me see
which
here.
is not funny, but
It's
very
funny.
confusing.
You're
Yeah.
wrong. It's funny.
Wait a second. All right, here we go. Let's just see this.
I heard you recently had a fall. I want to know how you're holding up.
I'm holding up fine. I'm right here. I'm talking to you.
Okay. Can I ask you what happened?
Well, I was staying at a hotel. It was on a hill, and there was I said, "I go, where's a good place to eat?" Oh, the bottom of this. So I went out. And then the restaurant was.
It looks like he fell on the left side of his face and then slid down the hill.
Right.
Like
He's
he-
an older man, I suppose. But yeah, and I wonder what the eye patch is for.
Oh, man.
there, but to get to it, I didn't have a car, so you had to go walk
sounds
about
like
a
Joe
mile and a
Biden
half
almost.
around. I said, well, the hill doesn't look that steep. It's about 60, 70 feet. Let me see if I can go down the hill. Down! And then I fell down. Just boom, boom,
So you
boom.
rolled down the hill.
I rolled down the hill, hit my head on a rock, knocked me in the eye. There you go.
Holy
Did you
shit.
have to go to the hospital?
Well, I did the show, and then when I came back to LA, I went to the hospital.
So you.
His whatchamacall, his hand is in a brace and all that stuff, too.
He said he broke his wrist.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So that's,
He doesn't sound normal.
Well, that's a very old man noise. That bow, like
Yes.
he's old, right?
it is an old man noise. So, I mean, that's good. So he says a show. Is he brought a comedy act back on the road again, or what happened?
He never stopped doing stand-up, right? They said even when he was on the Tonight Show, he was still doing stand-up, and he never took a penny of the Tonight Show money, either iteration. The first time or when he stole the job back from Conan O'Brien. So
Wow.
I mean, he never stopped. I will give him that. Like for all the people that canceled tours at the drop of a hat, I believe when they really wanted to sell COVID that live, people were like, "Oh, I got COVID, I got to cancel it," just to scare people. He never did that, you know.
Wow, I didn't even know he was that active. And that's crazy. What did you guys prefer? Did you guys prefer Conan or Leno?
I preferred Conan because that was back when I didn't like Leno for what he had done with the Letterman thing, you know, and then he didn't win me over when he fucked over Conan, right? But now you look at what's going on late night TV, and I've made my and I know I hope Jay Leno's watching because I know he's really worried about this. But I've made my peace with Jay Leno because of just the absolute fucking garbage that's on late night now. You know, the propaganda shills.
This is what I love about the whole. We were talking about this last night too. I was going through a couple of different types of posts. Well, actually, one main one on Reddit where somebody, obviously someone who was voting for Kamala Harris, went into very, very well articulated reasons why they're not watching late night comedy anymore. And they're staying away from Comedy Central. They're staying away from The Daily Show, John Oliver, all that stuff.
Oh, John Oliver's awful. He literally went, did you see what he said this week? He literally was defending men that want to be in women's sports, and there's no other way to put it. And he was saying it's a lot. There have been women that have been seriously injured by these dudes that identify as women, and he's like trying to make jokes about it. Of course, I'm interrupting you. Back to your point, Frank.
No.
It's galling.
That's what I'm talking about. There's nothing funny about it. You get hit with a cudgel every time you tune into one of these shows, and I don't know. I guess depending on how much you like that kind of sadistic relationship, then I guess it's a good show. But last night we were going through I think you guys would really appreciate this. You know what? I'm going to pull it up again because I think you would appreciate this as comedians. I know anybody watched last night, it's going to be a little bit of a repeat, but I want to read this for you. When I was reading this one particular post about why they weren't going to watch late night comedy, I said, this would be a really great thing because from a detox perspective, when you think about how much mind control is actually put into what is so-called television comedy, this might really break some people's programming. And here's a thread from 2000, or a post on 4chan from 2016. Let me put it up there for you. Let me get myself out of here. This is specifically about John Oliver. Now, I'd love for you guys to stop along the way and just comment as comedians as far as the writing that they broke down from a psychological standpoint, and then we'll go from there. The OP writes, the subject of John Oliver came up with a colleague of mine, a fellow psychologist, and I were discussing politics a few months ago. Although we were both in agreement regarding the general shitlib inanity of the HBO show, my friend was surprised when I explained that the real insidiousness of it is its unmistakably hypnotic structure and pacing. Now, obviously, you guys are comedians. You know everything about pace. I mean, pace is everything.
Yeah.
Pauses, everything. Yeah. But this is just wonderfully scientific. I ended up pulling up an episode or two off of YouTube to show her what I meant. All the segments I've ever seen from this show follow the same repetitive format. Present some argumentation and facts for about 10 seconds, then quickly follow up these with a snarky quip, which themselves overwhelmingly take the form of complete non sequitur or otherwise absurd metaphor before any rational processing of the preceding argument can take place in the mind of the viewer. Mm-hmm. Further telling is that the only beats or mental pauses in the show's pacing exist solely to highlight the approving laughter or applause of the studio audience. Repeat this basic formula without variation 20 to 40 times in a row, and you have one of the 12 to 20 minute segments that form the backbone of the show. We'll stop there. Chrissie just got here too. We're doing a dive into... there she is in her seat. She hasn't been there since the night she made Trump win. She made Trump win by being here.
I'm wearing the same underpants. I haven't washed them or anything.
For 2.5 weeks. So we're doing a psychological dive into the hypnotic so-called comedy formula for television comedy, like John Oliver and all that stuff.
Oh my God. Someone figured it out?
Well, what did you guys think about that so far? Just those rhythmic...
I talk about this in my set, and I talk about how late night TV is awful, how comedy now has become there's an applause sign. So people are obedient. It's not genuine laughter that you get at a comedy club from genuine comics that want to make you laugh regardless of what you say, you know, and you're just sitting there watching someone, then you see the applause sign. And I'm sorry, Amy Schumer, when she's producing specials, she'll if she doesn't like the laugh that someone's getting, she'll go out. She's like, well, if you could really just, you know, like this is her last joke and really send her off with a bang, because they're all fucking frauds and they fucking bastardize what comedy is. It's one of the most amazing things to do to be able to make someone genuinely laugh. And what they've done is replace the healing power of that gut laughter when you're doing a show and someone's laughing like this because they can't believe they're laughing. They've replaced it with fucking obedience, with applause signs, with fucking getting the okay on YouTube that you didn't say faggot or some other word that they want to fucking bastardize. And it's fucking bullshit and it's a fucking crime. Just off the top of my head.
Well, this is being described as a crime against humanity as well. Keanu, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Haven't they always had applause signs?
Yeah, well, on television, definitely with the studio audience's television, but I don't know how any of these specials are taped. I've never been for one.
Right. Not in a comedy special, but I steer clear of late night television.
Yeah, no one watches it.
Right. Because it is so phony and fake. And the rhythm of yes, here I'm going to tell you, you would be too afraid to be like, ugh, gross. You just want to go and they make you feel like the show is going well. Like, even though we're telling you what we think is true, which may be a lie, and then we do like a cute little joke. Yeah, of course you're going to sit there and at least give them a laugh. So yeah, I steer clear of it though, unless there's a really good late musician or something.
They have like a warm-up comic, and at this point it's mostly tourists that are sitting in the audience for these shows, and they're just happy to be there. They're just happy to be indoors out of the rain. You know, it's not necessarily. And I know people listening might be like, "Oh, you guys are being sour grapes. None of you have done late night." But there was a time where I was like semi in the running for what was it, Colbert, and it was like first, like very, very. Just basically courting the booker, like, I gotta get on her good side.
Yeah.
But I've heard from Dave Landau, who's been through more of the process, and that they just go over your set many, many times with a fine-tooth comb, and by the time it's actually on TV, it is
sanitized.
It is very much sanitized, and it's a sanded down version of what you originally came with.
Yeah, you end up being Sonny Hostin the other day, having to read the legal note. Did you see that?
My God, eating her hat.
Yeah. Although it didn't help, he withdrew today.
I know. I was just talking about that before. And listen, I don't know. Like I really hope that I don't know, we got to go. But Trump's got to go balls to the wall. This is the biggest advantage of going for a second term is that there's nothing after this. Just go for it. So, okay, if Matt Gaetz is out, find a bigger firebrand now.
Why can't I think of his name? The guy who you're always seeing clips of him attacking, you know, whenever you go on YouTube and it's like a Forbes clip and it says, why can't I think of his name? Rips apart so-and-so, and it's Alex
Stein?
No. God, I can't think of his name. I just Googled it too. I left my phone in the other room.
But should throw our hats in the ring. It can't be hard.
You're going to be able to. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. But let me get to the rest of this.
Josh Hawley. Sorry about that. That's the guy that's always going in. He should be the AG. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, listen. It would. I'd like to see anybody. The reason why Matt Gaetz was so interesting was because he really had it out for the FBI and all that stuff.
And Fauci. Yeah.
Also, great hair. Yeah. Not bad to look at.
Well,
a little bit intense on the eyebrows, but I could have.
He could have him microbladed. We can work on this.
He needs a massage and a couple drinks, and he'll lighten
That's why we need you girls around here. That's the most important thing. Because that's all that matters. Officially, it's really all that matters. People just don't like the look of somebody, and even if they have the best ideas in the world, you're going to lose. It's like it's high school.
If you're repulsive to look at, I mean, it's just very difficult to stare at you for on the television and things.
Right.
So
yeah,
primping.
Anyway, take a listen to the rest of this. As far as the insidiousness of television comedy and how that is written to hypnotize people into these terrible ruts that they're in right now, and then we're going to get around to actual opportunities. Chrissy just said opportunities. Throw our hats into the ring. That's going to be able to be the case, hopefully. But let's do this. Ready? The end effect is obviously not to deliver information, but rather to literally teach the viewers on a subconscious level to mentally associate derisive laughter with any person or opinion that is at odds with the narrative's take on the chosen issue. And it accomplishes this by maintaining a strict adherence to a roughly 20-second cycle in which a stimulus is presented, a response is cued. This is the sense in which the show is fundamentally hypnotic in effect, even more so than its precursors in the genre, The Daily Show, Colbert, etc. To my mind, Oliver's show is representative of the media's increasing mastery of the methodologies of mass conditioning. In fact, it is almost as such a perfect technical accomplishment that I would almost have to admire it on technical grounds, which, moreover, is in the hands of the entirely wrong people. So the fact that it masquerades as comedy is why I thought just right now in the moment, it'd be great to toss it to you guys. But that's like some CIA.
So someone has looked into the science of late night. Is that what this is? In regards to John Oliver?
This is one psychologist who posted on 4chan about 8 years ago, who just wanted to be able to articulate.
Let me guess, he threw himself off a roof?
Thankfully,
That's
he's
what
anonymous.
they do.
He could be. He could be. Somebody have his trip code. Then who knows?
Who was that kid, that comic? I always forget his name, from The Whitest Kids You Know, and he was ahead of the curve. He's the one that put out kitty history and everything that just...
He did throw himself from a roof. You're
threw,
right.
Yeah, he threw himself
All the
off
best
a roof.
ones
Sure, he
too.
did.
Fortunate.
Who the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
Forget his
The
name.
Whitest Kids You Know, Trevor something? I can't. It just.
If you looked up kitty history, you just
Yeah.
write it down.
Did you ever see the video
Yeah,
Kitty
it's,
History? He just basically calls out the corrupt politicians and just all the deals made.
Doesn't
and
matter.
how
I don't
the
know his
CIA
name either.
How the
Yeah.
CIA killed Kennedy
I'm
and
looking at it.
how Bush was beholden to Iraq and all that stuff. But he does it all with kittens.
Trevor Moore.
Trevor Moore.
Well, that's tragic.
And
It
he,
is.
and he had another one where he had a kid that was like being exploited. He was like a Justin Bieber type, and he was his manager, and the kid was like begging for help, and he just called out Hollywood on all this shit like 5-10 years ago, and then he had young, good-looking, banging hot chicks, money hand over fist, but he thought he'd kill himself, threw himself off a roof.
Listen, especially when we get rooftops, there's always something. Always something that doesn't smell right. Then,
Yeah.
of course, there's the number of reasons why people are just cracking these days, and there is nothing very encouraging about being in that world. The conspiracy world, almost like the paranormal to a degree, is very, very negative.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you got to be a special kind of person to not get blackpilled by this and just think that there's no real value in anything, and that the opponents we're against are just they've got all the resources and they've got all the time, and what the hell are we doing? I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of suspicion and shit like that.
We got to
Yeah.
pick up the vibes on this show.
Oh, you missed
Yeah.
it. You missed it. Keanu and Geno were out there, and I was going through some of the opening stories I had, and I had picked one just for you because I wanted to see if you were going to have some kind of a meltdown, being that you're a new mom and you're hormonal at this moment and all that stuff.
And I'm wet from the rain. I couldn't find parking.
There's a story about a dolphin.
Okay, I heard you talking about this, and I
Keanu
hate dolphins.
hates-
I hate them.
hates
Okay,
I
so
wanted to bring this up. Yeah.
Dolphins are very well known for being sexual assaulters.
And they're horrific creatures that have dull teeth and rubbery bodies.
Why horrific?
They're not
they
right.
get horny.
There's something about them that is wrong,
They can-
and people think they're cute. I would never. I'd rather swim with a shark than a dolphin.
You know what
I
it is? It's
saw
because
you.
they're so like beloved, and people are like, "Oh God, I took a picture with a dolphin. Oh, I want to go to SeaWorld." But
maybe
really,
they-
they can
yeah.
overpower you.
They want to fuck you, and they want and they have beady eyes and dull teeth.
They're
and
always
there's something
hard.
amiss. Yes.
I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I.
Okay, so then maybe you wouldn't care. There was a story of
Some dolphins assault their own family. Oh, I'm thinking of Tyreek Hill.
Chrissy,
All
how
right,
many
go on.
times have I brought up dolphins? I keep bringing them up. I won't choose the Dolphins in Geno's picks because I hate them.
Oh, just
so
the
much.
actual football game.
No,
the
I
football
won't.
team.
I refuse. I don't
Yeah.
care if they're the best team in the world. Dolphins.
She had a tough one this week because they're playing the Patriots, and she had
I don't
to
like
choose
them
between the
either.
Dolphins and the team known for the guy that kissed his kid on the lips.
I'm not very sporty, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that was a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, this dolphin is is being studied right now because he might be the loneliest creature on the planet. And now you're probably just like, fuck that. He has been found. Scientists have been studying him, and it seems that he's been talking to himself to keep himself.
Oh, that's
Sit.
really.
Okay.
Lame.
We got her. She's already,
Don't care.
but Keanu doesn't care.
It's all an act. Let him be alone.
See,
Don't care.
he's just trying to get somebody to get close to him so he can sexually assault them.
Exactly.
See?
Right. It's
That-
all an act.
You know
he
what?
knows what he's doing.
Yeah, don't they swim in pods? Aren't they group animals? He doesn't have one other dolphin friend
Right.
that he can
And
confide in.
Aren't they the only other mammals except for humans that have sex for pleasure? Have you ever seen like a lonely dude pretending to be lonely in a bar as well,
Yes.
just to get laid?
When we were in the
That's
airport.
exactly what
when we
that
were in the
yes.
airport, that
Yeah.
a guy pretended to have just broken up with
Yes,
his girlfriend
to try and get some like I don't know.
we
play.
bought him drinks.
Exactly right.
Wow.
This dolphin
Yeah.
is doing exactly that. I don't
How did-
care if he cries.
How did you guys know that he was pretending?
Keanu got it out of him. I went. Frank
I don't
called me in the middle of it, and I came back. Keanu was yelling at him. I was like, "What happened?"
I
She's
said-
like, "Get the fuck away!"
I said,
"Back away."
Walk away now. Walk away. I don't believe your silly little story. And because he was, it's a whole thing. This
Okay.
is what mammals do. Oftentimes, female mammals do it as well. I don't buy this dolphin's bullshit. Absolutely not.
This is perfect for the second half because we have a story in the second half written published on the New York Times called "Are You Dating a Red Pill Guy?" Here are dark tactics that they use according to their exes.
Oh, like
It's
paying for things.
It's written by a transgender fan fiction writer, so it's going to be very unbiased, of course.
It's called tran fiction.
Yeah, that's it. But take a look at this. Since we're in the comedy section of our evening, here this was just amazing. Michael Cohen went on a live stream, I guess on TikTok or on Instagram or something. Here he is right there.
Who was Michael Cohen again?
He was the former Trump attorney that, you know, he got in trouble for all the New York City taxi medallion stuff, and then he started, you know, trying to say that Trump was telling him to do this and that, and he was hush money guy, the middleman, and all that stuff. He's a complete loser.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's why he looks like he's melting.
I know he looks like a dodo bird, but he's over here. And he is on a live stream, and he's getting messed with people in the audience. Now, I don't know.
I think this is TikTok, right? You can pay for filtering people.
You could filter people. I didn't know this, but obviously he doesn't know it either. And it's hilarious because he's begging people to stop putting turkeys on his face and shit. Here, listen to this. Hold on. This is fantastic.
I saw
No
this.
problem. Wow, genius you are. Can we stop with that?
It's Bugs
I
Bunny.
appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys.
Wow.
All right,
What
let's
a
let's just
Grinch.
knock that stupid shit off, please.
The lasers.
All right. I did. I said I was leaving, and then the following day, get that through your dumb heads. The following day, I turned around and I said that there's no chance in the world that I'm leaving my country. Thank you very much.
What a piece of shit.
If that
All
doesn't
right.
make you laugh, he
I'm not
has
leaving
no-
anyway. You
Best is
leave.
the end. Here's the end.
This is my country.
Wait, hold
And I
on.
have every
Hold on,
right-
the last two.
Every single right within which to turn around would we stop so we can. All right, 2 seconds. I'm going to end up blocking this idiot.
And then there's sombrero.
No problem. Wow.
I can't. It's did you like I'm older, but there's Bugs. Did you ever see the Bugs Bunny cartoons? And they did one with Bugs and one with Daffy. And they're in the picture and they're doing that to him. It's like they're fucking with the landscape and making him look like a screwball. Like one time it turns out it was Elmer Fudd doing it to Bugs, and another time it was Bugs doing it to Daffy. I sent that to Kumya and he knew exactly what it was. Like that's
Wow.
And when he goes, the next day I said I wasn't leaving. It doesn't matter. You got over your skis with it's the arrogance of the left, of all these stupid people.
and not understanding the internet. Like,
I know.
the internet
Why would
will
you-
always win. It will always triumph.
Yeah.
If you get mad about the turkey head, they're just going to do it more.
Yes.
You know, just continue your point with a turkey on your
And
head.
you know what? It's Thanksgiving season.
What's wrong with
Come
you?
on.
They're being festive.
I
They're
know.
just children.
I particularly like the Elvis hair. I
yeah.
thought that was
Just when he thinks it's over. Like when he's dumb. He's like, I'm thinking of blocking this guy. It's what you said. The internet always wins. He's like, this will show him. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, now you're Elvis, and now you're a Mexican with a mustache.
I know.
He should have just taken a breath and been like, "Oh, have a blue Christmas."
People would have started liking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have turned some, but you know they don't get this. They don't get the nuance. But listen, a lot of people are dealing with a lot of shit right now. I'm sure you saw Several pronouncements of people leaving the country.
Good.
Rob Reiner is checked himself into a clinic, apparently.
Good.
Ellen DeGeneres and Portia.
They're gone.
right?
Here's
UK.
This is what Rob Reiner said on Blue Sky, which is now
Oh, yeah.
infested by pedos
I wouldn't even know about Blue Sky if it weren't for our good friend Frankie McDonald, who's a famous weatherman out of Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Is he on Blue Sky?
Yes.
I'm sure
I
he
love
is.
him.
He's on everything. Yeah.
Well, Rob Reiner is not on there for at least a couple of days because he said, I have made the decision to take the next few days to check into a facility. I wonder if it's Betty Ford or something like that. For peace and relaxation. No phones, no social media, no trolls. Just calmness to heal my pain.
No one over 15.
Imagine having that much stake in it. Okay, Rob, go ahead. I'm glad you have the money to check yourself in.
I don't know if this
for
was
some relaxation.
I read somewhere that they were trying to figure out what to call the posts on Blue Sky, and they ended up with calling them skeets, not realizing
calling it, yeah.
that is something else.
Skeets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what skeet means.
Yeah, but I can't believe that.
Well, maybe
how are
it's
they
like skeet shooting, but they probably don't like guns.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. See, again, like you said with Michael Cohen, it's just there's a disconnect there. You don't get it. You're not hip to things. You show up. You think you're being clever, and really you're saying that everything that you publish on this new platform is like you're shooting ropes.
They should call it a seed or something, like with cloud seeding, call it like a seed. That makes sense. That's in the sky.
kind of gross too.
That's true.
You skeet your seed.
Yeah.
I skeeted my seed.
How about it's a butterfly, right? A flutter.
A flutter.
Yeah. How about that?
I put a couple of flutters out today.
Yeah. A butterfly kiss.
But you guys said Ellen DeGeneres. She left.
With
she left.
Portia.
I love this Babylon Bee headline. Is fantastic. Postmenopausal lesbians flee America over concerns about forced pregnancies.
Exactly.
Wait, did they really leave or they did not? They did.
Oh, they
apparently.
did.
Richard Gere has said that he's going to Spain.
Good.
So he's moving to Spain.
Barcelona.
For these people, it's a lot of their second homes anyway.
Yeah,
I
good
think
point.
it's cool. I'm like, good. You don't like it? Then wonderful
Go.
that you have a lovely, wonderful place to live in Barcelona. That's wonderful.
It's like the celebrities are losing their relevance, and they're like, even in their leaving. My favorite thing Elon said was like, Twitter is not an airport. No need to announce your departure.
Yeah.
And in their last gasp of like relevance, everyone look at me, I'm leaving. And we're like, oh, we don't care.
I mean, they will.
They'll be back to work and do shows
Right.
and whatnot. So what a luxury for
True.
them.
Must
Yeah.
be nice.
Wait, hold on a second. I have a text message that came in here about from my producer, Krista, and this came about 20 minutes ago when we were still talking about Jay Leno. She said, "You're burying the lead." Jay Leno, who has the nicest mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, and tons of money, was staying at a Hampton Inn and trying to walk to dinner in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So
That's weird.
People think he was beat up.
He said he
why?
fell down a hill and hit a bunch of rocks. He
Only
said, I
on-
thought I could get down, and like he was trying to take a
But
shortcut.
only on
Yeah.
one side of his face?
Well,
yeah,
he said
that's
his
what you
whole
would fall.
body
Well,
was maybe just
it's the left side of his face, but it was his right wrist that's broken.
maybe he caught him. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
so he was definitely tumbling
Wow.
over himself a little bit.
Who let him do that?
What does the chat think? The F's in the chat if you think Jay Leno got beat up.
Okay, F's in the chat. You heard that? If you think
Why F's?
I don't know.
For
Why not?
spam 1 if you think he got beat up. Spam 2 if you think it's something completely different.
Either that or he's the most accident-prone man ever. Didn't his car explode in his face last year?
probably.
Yeah, he got into an accident.
Yeah, and he had
he was less
another
beat
thing
up there.
too, right? There's 3
had a-
things that happened to him.
I thought he had didn't he have like 2 accidents close to one another
Yeah.
last year? I felt like he had like 2 things happen very close to each other.
The
That
chat-
chin makes him off balance.
I'm seeing a lot of
maybe.
F's. People think he got beat up.
There's F's and 1s.
F's and ones.
Let's see if there's any 2s. All right, but here, let's go into something else as we have 10 minutes before we are already at the intermission. This is crazy. But from Axios, Chrissie said before, are we going to, we should throw our hats into the ring? Well, this is something that has been popping up a lot in conversation for the last couple of days, and it is about whether or not the Trump administration is going to shake up the White House briefing room by allowing podcasters and YouTubers and all types of independent media personalities from the internet in. I have to imagine, Chrissy, you're already preparing your resume for something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Why not put in for a press pass for a day? No?
Absolutely.
I'm doing it. I'm definitely doing it.
So-
I am media. I am media.
Seriously.
Media, right.
What do you think? So I mean, I don't know. Thoughts?
I would be disappointed if he didn't do it. I'm already disappointed in Gaetz stepping down without any battle. But
Well, I think it's because I was listening to Owen Schroyer earlier.
Right.
And a lot of times, like these things, I just sort of glaze over when I listen to them. But he was saying it was more about, because when I first heard the news, I'm like, oh, God. And this is what Frank was saying. Well, he's either a pussy, can't handle the attention, the hate, right? Or he truly did do something that they don't want people to unearth. And
You
then
talking about Matt Gaetz?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Owen Schroyer and he was like, no, it actually turns out there's this one guy, I guess, that like wouldn't, and I'm going to sound retarded that I don't know his name, but like there's this one guy that wasn't going to confirm him and was going to convince everybody else not to confirm him. So
You're
he just-
well, I saw other people saying that that's what it came down to. That it was just that there was Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, that whatchamacall, I forgot a couple others. Essentially, he wasn't going to be able to have a majority of Republican senators to confirm him, which I thought that we were talking about recess appointments lately because we're not traitor proof with the Republican majority either. So if you're going to put a real firebrand worthy of shaking things up in there, you can't anybody they confirm. I was saying this before you guys came in, but when they in 2019, whatever the hell it was, that Christopher Wray came up for confirmation of FBI, and I saw that I didn't know anything about him, but when he got 92 or 93 confirmation votes from our Senate, that means he's like largely bipartisanly approved. I said, oh, he's terrible then. If everybody is comfortable with this guy, he's fucking terrible.
because they're all hiding shit.
So
Like, that's what's so disappointing about Gaetz. It's like, well, I can't get the votes. Well, you can't get the votes from the people that are hiding shit. Am I nuts? I mean, I am nuts. It can be both.
That's
But
what I'm
that's the
saying.
concern. That's why it's so heartbreaking. And I would love to think, and that, look at us walking it right back. And that's why I said earlier, I'd be disappointed if he doesn't have podcasters there. Because if there's one thing that people woke up to the past, both sides, and I talked about this in 2 weeks leading up to the election, as a troll, someone gave my number out to or had my number sign me up for all these Harris and Walz campaigns.
Oh, wow.
I was getting
That's so funny.
I was getting texts
my
and
God.
calls from the South.
It was awesome.
And I answered the phone and I was laughing with all of these people that, like our Harris and Walz, and we all agreed that the mainstream media is a villain. No one likes them.
yes.
They're all pieces of garbage. And so you would have to, if Trump, the Gaetz thing is disturbing to me, but I want to believe that, okay, full speed ahead. Worried about the RFK nomination now if this shit's going on. But I would like to think, yeah, we're done with the mainstream media. And I sure hope they get treated like garbage in there, for the arrogant way that, oh my God, Corinne Jean-Pierre, the dumbest woman that was ever alive. Dumb. And she never, tell me one answer she gave in the entire 2.5 years she was there.
I did love her in Get Out, though.
There you go. Not bad.
it's a loveless.
looked great in that
It's a
movie.
loveless position. Yeah, I mean you have to go up there.
I would have said a different movie that would have been a little more controversial.
Gino, I thought you were going to say like you're on the phone with all these like activists or whatever. You're like, and fine, I donated $100 just to get them to stop.
No, they were like, you are down for the carpool for gay volleyball, correct? He was like,
I did get signed up for the gay softball
Yeah,
league in
gay
Palm
softball.
Beach, and that one
it was adorable, and they were so
I'm a
nice
catcher.
to him. He was like, and he answered every phone call. Like, I have to tell you, I'm a conservative, but the media, and they're like, listen, we hate the media too.
No one likes the media.
And let me tell you, you've been signed up for 45 carpools to gay volleyball.
But wait a second.
Yeah.
Was it somehow you can go get those kind of like joke packages, and you can send a very, very flamboyant package to somebody that has something innocuous inside, but the outside looks like it's a sex toy. You can
that's
just
so
play.
funny.
But was that what it is, or was it really gay volleyball?
It was gay softball.
No, it was all
one.
Tim. It was all Harris Walz things, but it was so funny because one of them was like the Palm Beach gay softball league.
Okay.
Which I would
Which
kick
is
ass in that
adorable.
league. I would.
He's
I
like,
think
you know what? I would think that you would actually drive those people if they were in New
I
York
would.
area.
Fucking,
You
they'd have to
would,
listen
yeah.
to me, and I would play my lesbian music, and I would talk about
They'd
Trump.
have a rebel rousing time.
First game is next weekend.
Yes, and they'd probably change their voting habits down there. I don't know. They might actually already vote Trump. You just never know these days because so much has changed. And yeah, the media is not a reflection of anything that's reality.
No.
But neither is most of our government. You know, the bureaucracy is. I mean, this is a great redundancy here. Those who run the government and those who run the media. There's redundancy there.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I was saying. It's bad enough when somebody comes up for confirmation of one post or another and you get bipartisan support because you know this is a swampy piece of crap.
Yeah.
But it's even worse than that now. If you get unanimous Republican support, that's not good.
No.
Like I want there to be a blood and guts fight for everything. And I want recess appointments to be the main reason. I want everybody to be scared. I want that now.
Oh yeah.
Me
They need
too.
to be.
Yeah.
Like, did you see Elizabeth Warren, that dummy, when they came out with the, trolling, but it's real, the Department of Government Efficiency, it's, who is it? It's Elon Musk, and I already...
Vivek.
Thank you so much, Vivek Ramaswamy. I always say his name wrong, Gesundheit. And
Vivek, get me a Slurpee.
yeah, and I love when they're trying to sound like Elizabeth Warren or whoever writer is like, oh, that's really good efficiency. Two people in one department, and they just put up her career, and it's like you make like $74,000 a year, and you're worth $61 million. It's like we're gonna need a lot of people to carve out like 300 of these stupid departments and get rid of them.
Wow.
They just think they're so much smarter than us.
Well, yeah. Well, I saw that. I saw that particular thing where they say, "Oh, the Department of Government Efficiency is headed by two people," and I said to myself, "These were the people who just 3 months ago, before they said we got to jettison the old man and put in the prom queen.
Yeah.
Before they did that, what were they telling us? They actually rolled people out there to say, you're not voting just for one man. You're voting for the team behind
Yes.
him. They are trying to take actually as much attention off of Joe Biden as possible to say that you're voting for this mastermind of people who make up the presidency, because to put all that attention on Joe Biden would have been a terrible marketing disaster. And now they're saying that having two young, capable men just looking through the ledger to seeing where waste is going to be.
And I argue they don't. I can't imagine they're asking for money. Maybe Vivek, but they're billion. Well,
Yeah.
one's a billionaire, one's a millionaire. It's like Trump when he became president. He didn't take a salary. He's the only one that left with less money than he started with. But
Vivek is there in case there's a rocket emergency and Elon has to go.
Yeah, that's that. No, it's just crazy, especially when it comes to the media stuff, where we were just a couple of years ago trying to insulate ourselves from financial ruin with, alternative platforms, promoting our own websites instead of promoting our YouTube pages because we don't know how long it's going to be around. And then all of a sudden, it's possible for the doors of the White House press room seemingly being open to people like us. That's
be
interesting.
so silly not to do that.
So they really are going to accept.
Well, look
we
at
got to get Frankie McDonald in there.
Wow.
Well, they would be absolutely ridiculous. Not look where people get their news, podcasts. I'm sorry. I think it was the biggest. Not that Kamala would have won. Any liberal I even talked to would have never even. They didn't even want. They're like, I hate that I even had to vote for her or whatever. But if she had gone on Joe Rogan,
Why didn't she?
because she probably couldn't have. All right,
Why
know.
didn't she?
But it's such
Why
a- but
didn't
look-
she?
but look-
Because she's fucking
I will tell you.
stupid,
How about
and
this?
she thinks we're dumber.
about this?
And that dumb bitch went like
How-
this. Well, if you come here, I'll do an hour. Who's doing who the fucking favor?
He should. Yeah. Listen.
It's
How about
galling.
this?
Geno,
Hold
breathe.
on.
breathe. Geno.
She
Ujjayi
lost.
breathing.
She lost, and us stupid people are like, if
Breathe,
only we had an
no.
hour of her brilliance. If only.
Keanu, gas him. Gas him, Keanu.
Take a deep breath, Eugene.
Only for an hour I could have heard her go,
I didn't. I'll admit, I'm sort of a political layman. I'm sort of right in the middle, and I don't really. I hate politics a bit because I think they're all scum. That's why I liked Trump. So, as a political sort of layman, I listened to, and I never really listened to Joe Rogan either, but I listened to JD Vance after the fact because I wanted to kind of not like him. I'm like, he keeps talking about blue-haired cat ladies. I hate the stupid, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I think it's ridiculous. I listened to him on Joe Rogan. It changed my entire opinion of him.
Oh, so okay. So we have a first-hand account of somebody where that actually worked.
This is me saying I listened to Joe Rogan. What an eloquent and intelligent and funny man. It 100% changed my opinion. So why they would be absolutely ridiculous. Everyone hates the media. I don't care what side you're on. So they would be ridiculous not to allow podcasters as the new media into the political space and rag me on
Although
it.
we got to keep Peter Ducey. He's the best.
What was your opinion of him based on before that?
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat
the media lying
eat
about
the
him.
cat.
Yeah,
right.
okay,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
Listen. I just was like,
They called him weird.
They called him.
But
it all led back to the truth of the matter. That's one thing there. It was a very, very bold thing to put out there at the time with the dogs and the cats thing, but it all led back to the truth. And there's some really strange things going on in this country. That's for sure.
Yeah, like when the woman said to him, like, well, it was proven that there were only a handful of people thrown out of their apartments. Like, he called out he threw it back in the media's face so many times. It was beautiful because the media is so used to having just yes men on both sides, like you guys said. You know, they lob softballs at him and they just go along. And he's like, well, did you hear yourself? You literally just said a handful of people were thrown out of their apartments by Venezuelan gangs. It's like they're like,
it's one handful too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm used to you just nodding and saying,
Well, the
press is a crime.
The press is, that's just part of that First Amendment umbrella there that includes us. The only thing is that we are living now in the only time in human history where mass communication can really, it's not about who has the resources to be able to mass produce a paper or to be able to broadcast something over the airwaves or something. These devices that we have in our pockets can, if you hit the right keys and you have the right message you're getting out there, you can go viral in a night, and in an hour you can eclipse 4 times the amount of viewership that any of these cable networks, the most popular cable networks.
The model has changed.
It's done.
It's the fact of it.
So so to your point, Keanu, it includes us, and it's actually the most progressive thing that you can do.
It actually is, which I like about that. It's not just politicians, and news networks that are completely biased. It's like, hey, what does Chrissie think about this? What does Eugene think about this? What's Keanu's ridiculous, silly thing about dolphins? We don't know, but that would have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, we might have like a little clip here and there, but we're not going to do what CBS does and just take out a whole answer and sub in something else, like really sketchy editing.
Not only that, but you guys would most definitely present your argument from a standpoint of, hey, I'm making comedy. Or I'm a layman in this respect, and I'm just I'm starting a conversation up. Is this and that? The real big problem that we have with media right now that's really hastened their demise, aside from the fact that technology is just allowing anybody to compete with them, is that they are clearly running an operation on us, and they're pretending to be unbiased. It's like we were talking about with John Oliver before. There's an op being run here, and they're not presenting themselves in good faith to the public, and that's why people show up to shows like this. And even though they're not going to agree with everything on the air, and I might get some stuff wrong or whatever, I'm not in the business of being right 100% of the time. Right. They're in the business of presenting themselves as stewards of the truth.
News.
Yeah,
the news. Right. It's just supposed to be the news. Isn't that what it's for? It's not supposed to be your opinion.
That's it.
When Vance was calling out Jake Tapper for the FBI laptop, he's like, well, we had an investigation. He's like, you just took the word of all these people with that. He's like, well, there was an investigation. They just spout whatever they need to spout to support the lies of the government. It's insane. And Trump's going to break it. I love it. And somebody said it, like if they hadn't did what they did in 2020, not only would Trump be on his way out.
Do the air quotes again. Thank you.
If they hadn't stolen the election in 2020 and the dumb
Borrowed.
people, but whatever they did, Trump
they gave it back.
Trump would not only be on his way out, but thank God that happened in 2020. Because now look at it. It's like Elon Musk takes over Twitter. So now it's free speech. RFK wants to run against Biden because he's so crappy, and you realize how rigged the whole process is for getting on the ballot. And, they try and kill Trump, somebody does, and suddenly he goes on Trump's side, and now they're going after big food. And another thing, even if Trump had a great second term, we'd be getting Pence. And we're not getting Pence. Now we're getting your buddy J.D. Vance. So what they did was like right now, Trump would be packing up saying, all right, you could have this corrupt government back, because he would have never, like he was in 4 years. He didn't put Hillary in jail. He didn't drain the swamp like he promised. He was he still had, maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, he still had an ounce of faith in what was going on in Washington. And now he's out there 4 years going like, you really are fucking garbage. And now he's coming back and he's like, yeah, and I don't want Pence. Pence was the first thing out.
Yeah, and I hated him more than anything.
Oh, please.
Yeah, God.
Pence, because he thought gay people could be cured.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's gay
That
himself.
genius.
And we all know they can't be cured. They have to be put down.
Oh, please.
I don't care if you're gay or normal,
Stop
Mexican or human, vaccinated or can think for yourself. I don't care.
Well, there you go. Hey, listen, if I'm not here tomorrow, then it's all good. Listen, here's the thing I wanted to put out there before we go to break. I hope that that's the case. And that's what I was hoping with this whole Gaetz
thing shakes you. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah.
I don't. Hey, listen, you're going to jump, you're going to hit a couple of brick walls along the way, I'm sure. I mean, we're up against psychopaths, and they're everywhere. It's not a blue-red type of thing. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just hope that wherever there is resistance, you find another way around, and then you full steam ahead again. But I don't know. As I always expect, we're going to be let down a little bit. Let's just hope that the good far outweighs what's been lost along the way, the opportunities lost, whether it's in a debate or whether it's actually over the course of a 4-year term, because this is a very, very big opportunity. I hope we get it. Let's take a really quick break, intermission, a minute and a half, so everybody can go out there and get themselves a water or something like that, and we'll be right back because we got fun stuff in the second half. Don't go anywhere.
This wasn't fun stuff?
Oh, even more. It's gonna get better. I want to show you something else, and 2 things when we come back. It's gonna be great.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button. Thank you.
Quite frankly.
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 Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, guys.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
So everybody watch. Quite frankly. With Frank.
Because we're just talking about the media landscape and how it just shifted from crazy running from censors and everything. It's still not very good out there, but thinking about how we had our backs up against the wall not too long ago and what had to be created just to be able to keep our operations afloat. Well, now there's something else going on here, and it reminded me of a story that I think that everybody in this room would actually really appreciate. Do you guys know what bone music is or was?
Music to have sex to?
Yes, it could be.
And
that's
what I would think.
That's what I call the Typo Negative October Rust album. What about you guys? Do you guys know what bone music is?
I would have no idea, but that'd be my guess only because now that I heard it. But I would
Super
never
Rich
know.
Kids by Frank Ocean would be my bone music.
Or maybe like Halloween jams is bone music?
Well, I'm going to tell something
They did
to
the
the.
sex.
Oh, hello, Pyretta. The
cat
cat's
here.
in here. Here's something for you. I brought this up because I've been waiting to talk about this for a while. I should have done it over Halloween, but bone music or music on ribs. How to share music in a totalitarian state. Okay, take a listen to this. Rib records originate from the Soviet Union in the 1940s and 50s when many types of music were banned from broadcast. They were music that was pressed into X-ray purchased from hospitals or taken from bins in hospitals. So, one of the more fascinating kinds of bootlegs that we've discovered in our research, this is at atlasrecords.co.uk, has to be rib records or bone music. Hospitals were required to dispose of X-rays after a year because they were considered a fire risk, which led to a consistent supply, perfect for creating these records. Some of the more regularly seen parts of the body on rib records are ribs and sternums. It is a result of almost everyone in the Soviet Union having to be tested for tuberculosis, which required X-rays of the chest. So what they would do is, to be able to hide the fact that they were listening to banned music, they would take these old X-ray sheets that were much like the shellac records, the vinyls of the past, and they would actually put these tracks onto these old X-rays, and they would get maybe about 5 to 10 plays out of them. And then they'd have to throw them away. But this was a way to be able to get around going shopping on the black market for unapproved music in the Soviet Union. And let's see here. The pressings were of such poor quality that they could be played only 5 to 10 times. Because of this, it is very likely that the surviving rib records today are some of the least popular tracks. Owners would often throw away records that were no longer able to be played, largely because they no longer had any use, and it was also risky to own items like this because they banned the music. This means that discoveries of these records will become rarer and rarer. Now, I have a few things here for you, because this ended sometime around the 1960s when reel-to-reel started becoming a lot more popular, and therefore the quality of the recordings. Here is a preserved record, a recording on bone music of Ella Fitzgerald.
I love it.
Okay, take a listen to this.
Old X-rays that they made into records.
Yes.
Wow.
The X-ray sheets, they were of similar makeup of the old shellac vinyl records. So of course they would have these. They came up with the ways to actually
recycle.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Okay.
yeah.
How did you stumble upon that?
Bone music is one of those things. I don't. It's just one of those.
I still
things.
like Chrissie's answer better, by the way.
I don't know where I even learned about it. But I remembered it. I said, you know what? We should talk about this on the show. And I really missed the boat about doing this in Halloween. But this is also a inlaid story about censorship. It's a huge story. These people just wanted to enjoy some. Here's one. Here's Heartbreak Hotel. Elvis Presley on bone record. Imagine just having.
I can hear the bones.
Oh, it's on the headset.
I can hear the cancer.
I'm like, why can't I?
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Were they?
There you go.
Were they cheaper? What was the purpose to because I love you love an old record where it sounds scratchy and crazy. What was the purpose? What did they think? We'll just make records out of these old X-rays and they'll sound the same, but they don't.
No.
Yeah.
I obviously, taking something of diminished quality is better than having no music at all.
Yeah.
The problem is that, the Soviet government did not want people listening to Elvis Presley or Ella Fitzgerald.
Okay.
So this is all banned music.
Ooh, I want a bone record now. I know. I mean, they must be worth so much.
There must be must be something, even if they don't play, just to be able to have one.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they wore out so fast. You can hear a lot of these have already degraded and
as far as records go, they don't sound as horrible as I like the sound of a record on a record player.
Yeah.
This might be a little bit more scratchy.
Imagine you only have 5 plays on a song, and you're like, yeah, come over, let's hook up. This is my 5th play on this. That would make a girl put out, I think. Wow.
I've only got one more play on this. Come on.
Me.
You picked me. Your bone record.
Yeah.
Man.
Bone.
Hey, a little bit of Elvis Presley on the rib music, and what else is there? I don't know. But I wanted to share that with you guys since we're talking about new media. That was old media.
Very old.
Very old. Very old. Okay, so
you
listen.
remember bone records, Eugene?
I do not remember bone records.
Okay.
We had a bone phonograph.
Actually,
It's called a bonograph.
We have a record player out there.
Ooh.
But they're making a comeback now, aren't they?
They are, and they're making a comeback. In the bottom halves of them, they have CD players and radios and all that stuff. But the top is functional. But that's because people are buying vinyl again.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. You remember?
They sell vinyl at Urban Outfitters and record players. They have been for it does make a comeback. Is it douchey now? No, I think it's a nice thing to have.
It's nice to own physical media.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember
No.
You
No.
don't? You don't?
No, alcohol.
Do you guys?
I stole some of your alcohol, by the way. Thank you.
Oh,
sir.
I'm sure you did. I hope you enjoy it.
I do.
Do you guys remember? I don't know if this actually happened because my memory on this is just so fuzzy. But I feel like sometime around the millennium, the turn of the millennium, there was a short resurgence in 8-track. Does anybody remember this? That people were. I feel like
tracks.
Yes.
I'm too young for all this.
Well,
I want to remember it, but I can't. You know what I mean? I'm like, it sounds like something I think I remember, but I
Do you
don't.
know what an 8-track is?
Yes,
it didn't take
I
off.
don't.
I was
know.
there for the first iteration of the 8-tracks.
Yeah.
I was. I had a Panasonic tape player, but they also made the 8-track. But God, I want to say yes. I can't.
I do not
I'm gonna say
remember.
no.
Obviously, it did not come. Oh, hold on. 8-track tapes were generally considered obsolete. Some brands, independent, still making and releasing them. Bands like Cheap Trick released the latest on 8-track in 2009. Dolly Parton released a Holly Dolly Christmas on 8-track in 2020. No, I just remember there being something like everybody wanted to. It didn't last very long at all.
It sounds like something like kids in Bushwick would do. Like,
Yes.
did you get the newest 8-track?
Like, yes, I don't know how to
what's
play
that?
it.
You don't know
So-
what an 8-track is? Let me twist my handlebar mustache and ride away on my unicycle. Like, that's what sounds like.
The type of person who would show up to the park with a typewriter.
Right. Oh, yes, you don't use a typewriter.
You don't know the old way. The old ways are the
Right.
best ways, my friend.
Yes. Now I have to get back to my job as a chimney sweep.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Get
Yeah.
cultured. Here's what I want to throw to you guys. This popped up this week. I said, "Oh, I'm saving this for Thursday night." Stop me all along the way. Headline: Are you dating a red pill guy? Here are dark tactics that they use on women according to their exes by Hannah Sparks.
Is this from the New York Post?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
It's usually good.
I agree.
It's more good than bad usually,
Yeah.
but they're really, it's a rag. Everything's a rag these days.
Yeah.
Alexander Hamilton would be beside himself. Dating can be a tough pill to swallow. A small scale study. They talked to 4 people
Yeah. Whoever was in the office.
on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
A small scale study published in the journal Personal Relationships was uncovered what researchers claim are some ways so-called red pill subscribers align with the dark triad personality type.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes.
I'm getting chills.
I know.
So we're talking about like
What?
Pearl and her ilk.
Yeah.
You know?
Who?
Pearl Davis, she's in the red pill community, and so it's like Rollo Tomasi, these guys that basically like are into kind of disrespecting women, putting them in their place, like under the guise of, I'm being
Right.
trad or something.
Oh,
You
yeah.
mean trad
Oh, I know
wife.
who you're talking about now, Pearl. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
We like to call her Clam
Okay.
because she looks like Mr. Krabs' daughter.
Wait a second. You had you had multiple public spats with her, no?
Yes. Yeah. She did my show once too.
Okay.
And now she requires $10,000 to come back on.
On any show or just yours?
Just mine. She'll do other shows for free. She just doesn't like me.
Okay, well then here you go. According to the study, TRP, okay, red-pilled men, consistently displayed self-interest, that's the dark triad, and willingness to use manipulation to meet their needs, portraying themselves to their partners and the world as successful while callously disregarding partners' emotions in their pursuit of sex or social desirability. The term red pill refers to a visual metaphor depicted by the 1999 sci-fi thriller The Matrix, in which everybody's getting hip now, you know. Anyway, speaking to the ex-partners of red pill men, the new research suggests an overlap between their deceptive tactics and the dark triad traits of narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Now, considering who wrote this, I actually always thought that those 3 traits are so much more better, on display these days in identity politics groups, special interest groups like that. I mean, because it's not only are you trying to use victimhood to gain power over everybody, but then you're trying to make sure that you're the highest victim on the totem pole of victims. And it's just so fucking sick to watch it all happen, especially when something doesn't go their way, like an election. and they start eating each other.
Yeah.
It's not. What do you guys think about this so far?
It's like the male response to feminism.
Yeah.
It's kind of, maybe you can take positive nuggets away from it, maybe, but generally the people who subscribe to this are like, they're badly burned. They're looking for reasons to never put themselves out there again. Not like they were in a house fire, but they're like badly burned in a relationship, and they're looking for reasons to justify like not putting themselves back out there again. Like, I got robbed in my divorce. Women ain't shit. Like, they just and this, like, the red pill kind of feeds into that. Like,
and they don't look anything like the photos. The men that subscribe to this notion don't look like the photos in the New York Post.
No,
like
not like the stock photos at all.
Gorgeous man with his shirt off and a gorgeous woman. They've been burned. And when you go too far anyway, like radical feminism, this is radical, what shall we call it? Red pillism. It's embarrassing, and I get, like, you want a trad wife, you can have that, but not everyone needs to be exactly that way.
If you want to lose me in a conversation right now, in this day, not right now, I mean right now, I'm kidding, this is great. But if you want to lose me in a conversation these days, call me or anyone in the room a narcissist, because that is such a stupid word. Okay? Everyone is a narcissist, okay? Everyone likes themselves, okay? And if you don't, then you're a self-hating zero that I don't have time to hang out with while you suck the energy out of the room. And it is the ultimate in gaslighting now. Like, I never heard of narcissism until Robin. There used to be a show called Howard Stern. That was a pretty good show, but now it stinks. Like, who's a narcissist? Well, you're a narcissist. You only care about yourself. That's a lie. But they just say, well, you only care about yourself the second you bring up something, about yourself.
I wholeheartedly believe in narcissism.
There you go. Well, you just lost me in that conversation.
I love you, but I do.
Never heard of narcissism existing.
It is overused.
It's overused now.
It is a weaponized word, in my opinion. That's all.
Well, I think that maybe just I don't know why anybody would be maybe turned off to just a healthy sense of ego. Healthy sense of, but everybody has to have healthy self-interest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the reason why you.
That's because you're a narcissist.
Well, that'd be
How
like
dare you.
that'd be like saying you go into a grocery store and you are testing out the melons, and the first one you touch is mushy and weird, but you're not going to put it down. You're going to pick it up because you don't want people to think that you feel like you weren't good enough for the mushy, weird melon or something. I don't know. It's like we go through different. Everybody has either they have their standards, and then there's also common sense, and you have to defend yourself because who the hell has an obligation to defend you for yourself, your interest? I mean, men and women usually go out there representing their best interests, and that's usually where the best couples find each other, where their interests intersect and all that other shit. But we're generally we've been ruined by
people weaponize words. And in my day, 20 years ago, if a guy did something you didn't like, you're like, what an asshole. Now they're like, well, that guy's a narcissist. And that's the difference. It's like people weaponize that word. Like, if you call me an asshole, Frank, we'll be like, I know, I was being an asshole.
It's the insult du jour.
Yeah, but if you're like, oh, you're a narcissist, it's like, what are you trying to do? It's like you want to turn everyone in the room against that person because that's such a toxic word.
If I say this guy's an asshole, that would be me trying to turn everybody in the room against that person.
No, asshole.
A narcissist is a very specific, very right, Chrissy, overused word. But it's narcissist fell in love with his own reflection and drowned.
Narcissist.
Narcissus.
No, narcissist.
Narcissus.
I know.
Narcissist.
I mean, I don't know.
You're a narcissist. How dare you?
I thought it was being an asshole.
Started the makeup company NARS.
It's a buzzword that everyone uses. I truly believe in narcissism and that people are.
It's also a way to justify someone with squishy melons. Okay, it's a way to justify writing off whole groups of people, like by saying every woman who's divorced with a kid is not worth your time. They just want to squeeze you for money. They're all this stereotype, and I've never even met somebody who fits this stereotype of like this woman who's like, oh, you need to have 6 figures, 6 feet tall, 6
No.
inches. You need to like be
Oh, yeah,
there,
I forgot about
be
that.
there for the kid.
I'm
like
looking for a guy in
these,
finance.
These women that are like
6'5".
asking for just way too much. Like I've never actually met a woman like that. It's just a way to disregard whole groups of people. And like Keanu says this all the time, you got to just take people one-on-one.
You have to. That's the only way to live life. You take every situation and every person one-on-one. You really can't generalize. To be like a whole group of people are a bunch of narcissists.
Because a single mom could be the love of your life. And if you're
Right.
just going to disregard
Let them pass
that,
you by, then right.
With their squishy melons?
Yeah, you can't do that. But, you know, that's,
Some people love squishy melons.
I love a good
I
squishy
think you guys
melon.
touched on something there though, because the narcissist trope, at least, is somebody who is fiercely individualist. And I think that is why it's so overly used, is because I think we're trying to fight our way out of a society that's been ruined by liberal collectivist thinking. And that if you break yourself off from the herd, if that kind of collective way of life didn't have anything, that one-size-fits-all way of life and looking at the world did not do something for you, which it's ruined so many people, men and women alike. It's pitted people. Feminism is one of the worst things to happen to the world, to society. And now you have a lot of people who are trying to put things together and find out what track we would have naturally fallen on if we weren't fucked with so many generations ago. So I guess there are those who will, may reclaim their individuality in a lot more aggressive ways than others. But it's also, there's definitely an operation out there to try to stigmatize anybody who is distancing themselves from the herd. I mean, look at anybody who is part of a Democrat's so-called key demographics that are now voting independently. They're traitors. They're black white supremacists. It's so ridiculous. I guess they're narcissists as well.
they're sexist.
So it's definitely, it has to be all tied in. And to this ridiculous study's point,
Four people.
I didn't read this. I didn't read this far because I just knew it'd be good to do with you guys. But listen
Here
to
we
this.
go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. The study polled participants from Reddit.
Oh, I was about to say, if a bunch of people reading Reddit.
You could
Okay.
say, yeah.
From Reddit. Okay, here we go. Actually, let me get some of you guys on these.
The best people in the world.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me get everybody.
All of these women are being mean to us,
At
and
least
they are calling us
these
narcissists.
three. And Geno will just be the guy in the background. But here, the study polled participants from Reddit, specifically those involved in the subreddit the Blue Pill community, which takes a microscope to the so-called Red Pill community. Think about how ridiculous just the premise of this so-called study is. Now, here's the sample size. To investigate the role of dark triad and red pill relationships, the author of the study recruited a mere 6, not 4.
Say
6 female participants
That's
aged
even worse.
20 to 38 from the Blue Pill subreddit on Reddit.
Oh my God.
What were you going to get from this study? What?
4 as a
Nothing.
joke is a lot better than 6 in reality. When you said 4, I'm like, you're like, actually, it's 6. I don't get it. No, there's nothing to get.
Wait,
And
what
the
did they need
ages.
6 women for?
20 to 38, 6 women that were actively posting on the Blue Pill subreddit. So you just think about, it's not even, the 6 women agreed their relationships were centered around image, success, and control. While the sample size was small for a study,
That's not small. That's not a sample of anything.
It's not even a
That
sample.
would blow me.
That's not a
sample of
study.
anything.
That's an angry fucking encounter
At least
group.
they're honest. There's an article being written about 6 people.
I
exactly.
guess.
It's an article being written about 6 people who are being extrapolated out to a nation of 340
It's
million.
one angry woman with 6 Twitter accounts is what it is.
Wow.
Probably. So, they said that the 6 women experienced coaxing to control their partners, as well as guilt tripping and all that other stuff. And lastly, the ex-partners of Red Pill men reported narcissistic preoccupation with looks, social status, intellectual superiority, and financial success. Which, let me ask you guys something. Social status and whatever, but financial success, stability, being physically attracted to somebody, isn't that
Oh my
just
God,
natural?
how horrible.
What are we talking
that's
about here?
Basic. Everyone wants those things.
Doesn't everyone? And somebody that's attracted to somebody else might not be. It just depends on the person. So it's something you really can't. Financial success to one person might be not financial success to another.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or do they mean like, type A's? Like type A, like, very, very superficial on looks, a workaholic.
No to both of those.
Well, you know what? We're going to take a very, very quick comedy break. And when we come back, I want to read a little something, some dating advice from Benjamin Franklin that I think you guys are going to love.
I can't wait.
And then when we're done with that, whatever time we have left over, we'll take some calls. Okay, well, we're going to be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, I'm in New York City just hanging out.
Okay. So, this is my promise
Okay.
to the people of the video podcast network world. I will not eat a single morsel of food until Margaret Thatcher is dead and buried.
She died 3 weeks ago. We'll be right back with Larry King.
Howdy, friend. You looking for a message board? Go to quitefrankly.tv and enter the forum. Engage with official show topic threads or start your own thread. Get signed up. It's that easy. And it's not Reddit, so don't sweat it. For the forum and so much more, it's quitefrankly.tv. Yeehaw.
When acid reflux caused Paul Guidry to develop throat cancer in 2015, his only option to communicate became this electronic voice box.
Time tonight, and we've got some great people here in the studio. There's
And
just
Geno.
Great people and Geno. Oh shit! What the hell did I just do there? Anyway, so are you guys having a good time?
Yeah.
I snuck in a heating pad. It's plugged in over here. It's on my back.
we have a whole bunch. We have a whole bunch of power outlets open because
Yeah.
I've eliminated so much electricity. Have you noticed what I've done to the place?
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, we have a little bit more to do, but I mean, you notice I brought back some of the old studio vibes with the Christmas lights.
Yes.
Oh
Very
yeah,
festive.
Chrissy was there for the first studio location.
You were telling us about that
The
last time.
OG.
And thanks for having us. Thanks for letting me crash in early when I was trying to do that other podcast with my boys.
No problem.
Do you know that was like Frank and I started that podcast, 3 Drink Minimum, like 1 month into dating. And that was like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And Pyretta's still alive. It's the same.
She is.
Same cat.
Oh, yeah, she's still alive. They're all like 13, 14-year-old cats now.
She was in the earlier stream. She was in the In Hot Water Football show with
She's-
me, Garrett. and Steve.
She loves talking football.
She does.
She is
She
a
got more
football.
picks right than me, that bitch.
Well, what was it about what's it picks? I forgot what the hell they did, but there was a study. You want to talk about an actual study that yielded interesting results? The pigeon test. They actually had pigeons on a boardwalk that went and actually pecked one team or the other. Wherever the pigeon pecked, that team was going to be the pick for the night.
And?
Just a money line bet.
Sure.
And I think the pigeon did better than most betting sites.
Wow.
I believe that.
Hold on. The pigeon.
I do it while you're Googling that. I do these football picks. Me and Keanu do it on my YouTube every Thursday, and it's called Keeks Peaks. And I'm sorry,
I'm the pigeon.
She doesn't know anything about football, which is why she went 9-5 against the spread last week.
Yes.
I
don't even know what that means, but it sounds good.
One week she went 10-3. Another week she went 9-4, and the week before that she went. I like to say the Jaguars in 13. She got every game wrong except the Jaguars.
Wow.
So, but my point is, and it's like the pigeon, Keanu, I do these picks called Geno's Picks, where, I just make jokes to pick the game because there's a reason, if you've ever heard of, I can't think of it yet, Las Vegas, if you've ever seen they seem to make money. But you always meet these idiots that are like, oh, I've got it. No one has a system. Vegas is going to make the money.
I have a system, and it seems to be working.
Yeah.
So then what do you think? Before we get back to this article over here, which I think you're really going to like, what do you think about the whole poly market thing and the election?
Oh, were
Poly market?
They were investigating the poly market because they thought Trump was going to win. Is that the
CEO of Poly Market? They took his phone about a week and a half ago. There was no arrest, though. But they took his phone. I don't know what the hell that all means, the FBI.
All I know is I was watching, forgive me for interrupting, but you'll find this fascinating. Like, I was watching election night because I'd lost my voice, and I was texting with my big brother and two of his buddies, and it was so fun because me and two guys are like talking about, I just saw this on Fox. Like, it's so funny, the different ages, because my brother's like, Fox News just said this. The other guy's like, I just saw this on New York Times. And I'm like, I was watching Tim Pool, but the other guy kept saying, he kept giving me the odds on Poly Market. He kept saying, all right, Trump's now this on Poly Market, like the odds, the in game.
But a week before the election, he was 64% for a win.
Yeah.
And of course, we started asking the question, or actually a couple of weeks before the election, what the hell do they know?
How do they know?
Yeah.
What do they know? Because everybody, even the most diligent pollsters that we know, who, if they can have it their way, they'd love to see Trump win and sweep and all that other stuff. They were still, they thought that it was going to be a pretty solid victory, but they weren't running away with it 65%. So we were always wondering, what the hell do the gamblers know? And I don't know, I can't wait to see some kind of a conclusion, if anything is ever released, about what happened with the Poly Market CEO, why they needed his phone.
Well, they have they must have all these, well, not must, but Vegas sets the line so well every week. They must have access to, I don't know, algorithms and shit. I don't know, for lack of a better word. But who said it well? And I love listening to him. It's another example of how the media can't be trusted. Dan Bongino, who's huge on Rumble, he said it perfectly. That's another guy you listen to. Like, when they shot Trump, that's the guy everyone went to, because he's former Secret Service, and he has people on the inside telling him, and he's angry. He wants the truth. He wants to get to the bottom of it. But he said it perfectly about Trump. He's like, if you have a clock and that clock is 10 minutes slow, that clock isn't broken. That clock is accurate. It's just off. Okay? And the same thing with the polls on Trump. He's like, we saw it in 2016. We saw it in 2020. It's not that the polls are inaccurate. They're just 10% off. That it's 10% lower than what Trump is actually getting. So I'm sure that was factored into a little bit with Vegas, because, they have the algorithm. They get the genuine information because they know how to make money. So I'm sure that factored into it.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing there too is the polls, the pollsters. They really, those who care about their job, regardless of what the outcome is. Our friend Rich will come on the show, and he'll give us news that he doesn't want to hear and that we don't want to hear, but I want to know it. And and that's the whole point. There is just, who are you sampling? Where are you getting it from? Who actually even talks to polls? I've never been polled in my life. But
how about you, Keanu? You ever been polled?
Not by you.
Damn it. Not tonight. Not with that attitude.
And last night was hump day. Anyway, so
take your soggy melons and that's a different bit. Never mind.
They're more like soggy clementines. Let's be honest here.
Love my Kiki.
So, all right. Well, you guys ready for some Benjamin Franklin?
Yes.
Because he's going to give us dating advice.
It's the only reason I came in. I need dating advice from Ben Franklin.
You two are going to be ship shape after this. Okay? You two are going to be ship shape. And hats off to Adam Krigler for putting this out there.
Krigler.
Yes. This is a letter from June 25th of 1745.
He was a sophomore.
He was giving advice to a young friend of his on sex and marriage, okay?
Ooh.
The advice to a friend on choosing a marriage. All right? Now
I
listen.
forget that these people had sex. Like, I just imagine he's always outside.
He fucked everyone,
with
right?
He was
key and
he
a
was a
kite.
problem. Benjamin Franklin was a problem.
He couldn't keep his Hancock in his pants.
He was a problem.
Nothing.
Yeah, it was. Okay, you ready?
Oh, good.
Okay, here we go.
Shut up, that's why.
Here we go. My dear friend, I know of no medicine fit to diminish the violent natural inclinations you mention, and if I did, I think I should not communicate it to you. Marriage is the proper remedy. It is the most natural state of man, and therefore the state in which you are most likely to find solid happiness. Your reasons, exactly. Your reasons against entering into it at present. So obviously he didn't want to go through with the wedding. Your reasons.
I thought he was jerking off too much.
It's
if I
like
may
Ben
be
was
vulgar.
writing to me.
Even back then, flowers were too expensive.
Yeah.
Your reasons against entering into it at present appear to me not well founded. The circumstantial advantages you have in view by postponing marriage are not only uncertain, but they are small in comparison with that of the thing itself, and being married and settled. It is the man and woman united that make a complete human being. Separate, she wants his force of body and strength of reason. He, her softness, sensibility, and acute discernment. Together, they are more likely to succeed in the world. A single man has not nearly the value he would have in a state of union. He is an incomplete animal. He resembles the odd half of a pair of scissors. If you...
It's funnier than anything I've said in 2 weeks.
If you get a prudent, healthy wife, your industry and your profession with her good economy will be a fortune sufficient. But if you will not take this counsel and persist in thinking a commerce with sex inevitable, then I repeat my former advice that in all your amours you should prefer old women to the young ones.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
Hello.
How
old are we talking here?
Oh, you're gonna see. You're gonna see. You're gonna put it together quick. You call this a paradox and demand my reasons. Well, they are these. Because as they have more knowledge of the world and their minds are better stored with observations, their conversation is more improving and more lastingly agreeable. That's number one, better conversation.
Sure.
Okay. Number two, because when women cease to be handsome, they study to be good. To maintain their influence over men, they supply the diminution of beauty by an augmentation of utility.
Jesus.
And they learn to do 1,000 services, small and great, and are the most tender.
He's talking about BJ's right there.
I was thinking the same
100%
thing.
and anal.
Services,
maybe.
yeah. They're like, do whatever you want. And are most tender and useful of all friends when you are sick.
Oh.
Thus they continue amiable. And hence it is hardly such a thing to be found as an old woman who is not a good woman. Number three, because there is no hazard of children. So we're talking postmenopausal here.
Wow.
Because there is no hazard of children which is irregularly produced, may be attended with much inconvenience. And then number four.
Much inconvenience.
Because through more experience, they are more prudent and discreet in conducting an intrigue to prevent suspicion. So they're very good at sneaking around and keeping their mouths shut.
Yeah, no one knows you're boning an old bitch.
That's it. That's it. The commerce with them is therefore safer with regard to your reputation, and with regard to theirs. If the affair should happen to be known, considerate people might be rather inclined to excuse an old woman who would be kindly take care of a young man, form his manners by her good counsels, and prevent this ruining his health and fortune among mercenary prostitutes.
Wow, better an old broad than a prostitute.
Better than go with an old broad who knows her way around the block.
Well, think about what he's saying, too. Like, an older woman is probably 32. You know what I mean? And prostitutes...
Well, they mean menopause, so that's like, I don't know, 45, 50.
Is it about that?
I guess you're right.
Let me tell you something. He made a great, and we're not done yet. There's a couple more points.
I wasn't done writing it down, thank goodness.
Well, Giselle's 44, she got pregnant, so
Right.
who knows?
You know, let's keep going.
Kardashian just had a child, 42.
Let's keep going, because then there's going to be some great concluding thoughts here. I know it. Because in every animal that walks upright, the deficiency of the fluids that fills the muscles appears first in the highest part. The face first glows lank and wrinkled, then the neck, then the breast and arms. The lower parts continue to the last as plump as ever. Oh, the ass stays as big as
the ass is the last to go.
No, yeah, that's a good thing.
Ass and titties.
That's it. So, but he's pretty much saying that the fish rots from the head down.
Yeah.
Okay, so so that covering all above with a basket. Oh, wait, hold on. The lower parts continuing to the last as plump as ever. So that covering all above with a basket and regarding only what is below the girdle.
Wow.
It is impossible of two women to know an old one. It's impossible of two women to know an old from a young one.
So he's talking about old pussy.
He's saying that if you just cover If you put a woman in a girdle and keep a paper bag over her head,
a basket, you'll only know the vagine unless a moth flies out. You'll know it's older.
He's saying saying if, when you're looking at that rump, you're not going to know the difference if she's young or old.
That's great practical advice.
That's what I'm saying. He made a great, amazing natural case for marriage. But if you're going to go out there just playing the field, he's giving wonderful advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like he just wanted to bang the young chicks himself.
Because a young chick is going to want to be sneaky, maybe get pregnant secretly.
Well, she's probably going to want to get married.
Get pregnant secretly? Who wants that?
We'll do a baby daddy thing.
Yeah.
Was that happening in Ben Franklin's day?
Perhaps.
Oh, it's since the beginning of time, Chrissy.
Like we said, he's probably responsible for several lines of lineage in France alone.
Ooh.
Right. Like, thank you for all you did, but you seem like a creep.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
You wrote this to your male friend.
He invented electricity. Without him, I wouldn't have these Chargers colored lights in front
I know.
Wonderful.
There's a couple of short ones now. Number 6, because the sin is less, the debauching a virgin may be her ruin and make her for a life unhappy. So don't screw with a virgin unless you're willing to spend you're committing there. Don't do that to her.
I've always been a proponent of that. I think I only took one.
Don't take someone's.
And I think I lost my virginity to a virgin, but that's it.
Good for you, Geno.
Yeah.
I took a virginity for Christ's sake.
Did I take a virginity?
It's a responsibility.
I don't think I did.
It is like you just feel like I'm not worth that.
He was like 10 years older than me too. I did him a favor. I'm a good person.
10 years older.
You're very good for
you're older.
That's very good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Keanu.
Yeah.
We all needed to
take one for the team, babe.
Number 7, we have number 7, then number 8. Number 7, because the compunction is less. Compunction. The having made a young girl miserable may give you frequent bitter reflections, none of which can attend the making of an old woman happy. They're saying that you'll get haunted by breaking a young girl's heart, but you will fly to heaven on wings just because you made an old woman happy.
Gave an old broad
I'm telling you, this is great.
It is.
Good advice. It's funny how but then again, he's having a guy talk. Of course we're going to be forthright with our guys.
I think you should both talk to your bros in letter with like a quill now.
Yeah.
From now on.
You know what he's basically
it makes it more
saying?
special.
He's like, this is actually a reinforcing of marriage because it's like, you know what? Go for an old broad either way, but if you marry a young girl, at least you have time with a young girl. Otherwise, just fuck around with old chicks.
That's what he's saying. Don't screw at people who are looking for companionship. Lasting companionship. If you're in that headspace, then here is a good guide for, at least having some positive experiences.
Get a widow.
Yeah. I don't know. And 8th and lastly, they are so grateful. That's it. That's it.
Oh, yeah. And they love the dick.
That's all we have on that.
Dick.
So I thought that would be good with the red pill
it
is.
People.
I think the equivalent would be like telling women, like, you know what, it's just bone an ugly dude. Make their day.
Can Ben Franklin tell me why I married a man 24 years older than me then? Is it the same thing?
Because I knew Ben
Franklin.
Franklin.
It would make him happy?
Yeah.
Or what was it?
I don't know. Maybe it was just
Ben Franklin would say to Geno, just don't break her heart.
Yeah.
the animal magnetism.
I guess I could see
I'm very
some of
charming.
the reverse.
That's it.
You are quite.
You heard me talking about Kamala Harris. I'm very charming.
You heard that explosion earlier on. You heard the explosion earlier on in the show.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever heard Geno. I fell right there.
I would love to hear more old timey like
dating
sex
advice.
And dating advice.
Love letters, poems, stuff like that.
There's got to be. I don't know where to look.
I think it was on his Twitter. Wasn't it on Ben Franklin's Twitter?
Didn't Ben Franklin have herpes or something?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know.
He kept putting his key in places it shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Not bad.
I don't know about herpes. Is that did people when did herpes first show up on the earth? It's always been a thing.
That was a syphilis thing.
Or syphilis. Excuse me, syphilis. Yeah.
George Washington had syphilis.
No, he did not.
I thought he did.
He had wooden teeth.
Now I'm starting rumors. I really thought he did.
No.
Or did he have gonorrhea?
No, he did not. He died. George Washington died of a sore throat, pneumonia.
Okay.
Toward the end. Actually,
Vincent Van Gogh had syphilis.
Actually,
I think he had AIDS.
He was the first person with AIDS. It was Van Gogh. I don't know. George Washington, I think we're going to be doing it again this year, but because he died in December. But last year we went through the entire medical literature on what happened to him the day, the over the days that he was sick and dying.
I had no idea.
Do you know that the biggest reason why he died is because he literally had no blood left?
What?
They were bleeding him over. And they took
they desanguinated
blood
him. I love
letting?
that word.
they took quarts out of him. He had nothing left.
Why?
They were it's back when you used to leech people.
So you have to trust the science.
Yeah. What's the old Saturday Night Live skit? Steve Martin's leeching the guy's hey, who's the barber here? Because of how dumb medicine was back then.
The fact that you can go to the barber and get bled.
Yeah.
They'll open up your wrist or part of your neck. I mean, it's fucked. But that was science at the time.
Yeah, you bleed out
or
the
it's
poison.
like a transfusion, but they don't put the blood back in.
Yeah,
Right.
half a transfusion.
Right, because they figured that there's problem with the blood. They get it out, the body will produce more, and it won't be poisoned.
Before colon cleanses.
Yes, if they did high colonic, they'd be fine.
Yeah. Throw some wheatgrass back there.
That's that. My gosh. So what do you guys got coming up as individuals for the rest of the holiday season and going into the new year? Go ahead, talk about it. We're almost done here.
Just Keanu Cast, wherever you find your podcasts. And then we're my YouTube channel, Keanu C. Thompson. Live all the time. Me and Chrissie Mayr do a Thursday show called Nightlife. Just follow us there. It's rude to listen and not subscribe.
It is rude.
Well, I have all three of you tagged in the description of this episode with your Twitters. So I hope people go and find you there, and then by way of that, find everything else. But Geno, what about you?
Yeah, the Twitter's the best way. I'm just touring with the stand-up, and I have a YouTube page, Geno Bisconte.
Oh, and also we'll be at whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Rodney's?
Rodney's, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good, thank you. I'm terrible at promoting, but speaking of December, my annual birthday show, I'm doing it, I do it every year at a comedy club. This year, it's at Rodney's, the old Dangerfields on First Avenue. I'm there. Chrissie and Keanu are there. It's fun. It's basically I host the show and keep bringing up comics till I'm too drunk to finish the show. It's a good time. Frank, come out. You'll have a great time, dude. We'll have a little whiskey.
I have to get out to a club again. I have to do it one day. When's your birthday?
December 29th.
Oh, well, that's
Capricorn.
Wow. That's
Why?
gonna be. When's your birthday?
November 11th, Scorpio.
It's just
And Keanu's November 13th.
That's right. Just passed. Wow, you guys both. Hey, happy birthday to you, Keanu.
Why, thank you, darling.
What about you, Chrissie?
Ooh, well, not to brag, I just today hit 100K subscribers on YouTube. Wow! So thank you guys. Keep subscribing. Got interviews lined up. And if there's anybody cool that you want me to interview, just tag me, tag them.
You gonna be interviewing RFK anytime soon?
I would love to talk about my own carnitas.
You should. I have to imagine that Frank is pounding the pavement to get people like him on.
He's probably not pounding for his pavement, but you know what? I'll try to send him an email.
That would be. Listen, this is go time. Like we were talking about before. There's going to be opportunities that we don't even know.
I had Cliff Maloney on yesterday. He's the guy who founded this organization called the PA Chase. Fascinating guy. He talks about how we basically in Pennsylvania did what Democrats have been doing for 20 years by talking about the ground game, knocking on the doors. Because Pennsylvania, you can get not an absentee. I think maybe it is an absentee ballot. They don't do early voting, but they do ballots. So they'll send you a ballot, and these guys knock on doors and make sure that the people are filling out their ballots. And I think the Democrats typically in Pennsylvania had 80% of the mail-in vote, which is why we've lost the past couple of years. They really figured it out, the science of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Republicans typically got 20%, and they were able to raise the bar. They got for the Republican vote 34.5%. And this guy just did an incredible job. It's really him, Scott Pressler, Charlie Kirk, among the guys that really we owe the Pennsylvania win to.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. We just played Scott Pressler's 3-minute address to the commission over there. in Bucks County yesterday. So I mean, the ground game has been incredible for as much as people are doing out there in their own right. What's been done, actually getting people out in places like Pennsylvania has been sensational. So that's some great stuff there.
What's the story going on in Pennsylvania where they're still counting illegal votes? Some woman pressed charges against 2 of them.
They're not really allowed to anymore because it was just ruled that like if a ballot does not have a date on it
by the state Supreme Court.
Yeah, but they were ignoring it anyway. Like they're trying to give Casey the win or something, but he lost, right?
Right. Yeah, there's that. I mean, obviously there were shenanigans in Wisconsin.
Carrie Lake, there's no way.
Arizona's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Everyone goes out and votes for Trump, and then they're like, okay, now who do I want for? Oh, obviously the blue dude. No. And that's twice they've done it.
Yeah. No, it's nuts. It's nuts to think that Carrie Lake could have handily won the state as the presidential candidate, but everybody, I forgot. I did the math. I said it was a ridiculous. This was maybe last Thursday at the time, and I said, you're telling me that about 160,000 Republican voters said we need Donald Trump as president.
Yep.
But the Senate race, giving Donald Trump a Senate majority is for his mandate is not necessary at all. That makes no sense. And even the other way around, 90,000 Kamala Harris voters voted for Senate, but didn't try to beat Hitler. I mean, it's just. Arizona's a joke. I don't know.
They're always the last one done, and I'm nuts, but they're like, oh, they said 2 weeks before. Well, Maricopa County is going to take at least 5 or 6 days because they wanted to be the ones. It was too big to rig. In my opinion, of course, because I'm nuts. They wanted to be the ones to finish the election, to flip it, to give it to Trump, and the beauty of it was how
didn't need him.
Yeah, with Trump's daughter taking over the RNC, when Pennsylvania's like, well, we're not going to be done. It's like, send the lawyers out.
Yes.
And then they're sitting there.
That's cool.
And she's 200,000 votes down and counting. It would have been 150 if she did Rogan and showed us how smart she was in an hour.
Yeah, but
that dumb bitch.
If you get the Republican Senate candidate from Wisconsin and Carrie Lake in the Senate right now, all these appointments are going through.
Yeah.
Even like what they were just saying, that they're one vote shy in the Senate of being able to put Matt Gaetz in, regardless of all of the baggage he has right now.
Christ.
And you have at least 2 Senate seats that were stolen. I mean, it's an incredible thing that we have a lot of problems, and we dodged a howitzer this year, but. Let's just keep our hopes up, and that's really it. Okay, on gold pills, and then we're taking out of here.
Gold pills.
Gold pills on pill.net. Sean Joe, thank you. Stephen and Lori says, watched John Oliver until Trump got elected the first time and realized that he and the others were just spewers of BS. I think
they're all the same person.
That's when I quit John Oliver too. Shout out to those viewers, because I remember John Oliver when the Yankees first opened their newest stadium. It's called the Motors, but whatever is behind home plate, tickets are they're like 5 figures for a regular season game.
Yeah.
So he was giving tickets away to people that would dress the most obnoxiously, like absolute assholes. So they're right on screen in those elite seats, and no one else is there. They can't afford them. And I thought that was so cool. I'm like, oh, John Oliver's great. And then you start listening to him during the election, like, John Oliver's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the formula that he's running is weird. It's Samantha Bee ran the same formula. I mean, everybody else. It was just whatever. Sean Joe, thank you so much. Porpoiseful NX17. Kay Landry says Florida Pam Bondi as our next Attorney General at the United States. That's what I'm hearing. And just whatever. It's not as nowhere near as sexy as
Gaetz.
As what Gaetz could have done, swinging that axe. Let's see here. The Sentinel says, great show. Love the idea of underground band music in the Soviet Union. That's right. Rib music, bone music. Hemilu, thank you. Sean Joe to close it out with 3 cookies. Thank you so much. All right. After the show ends in about a minute, the after hour starts off on quitefrankly.tv. We've got Truth Stream Media, computer-driven self-fulfilling prophecies. We've got Tucker Carlson interviews Glenn Greenwald, and then an Art Bell kicker, Art Bell with John Dvorak, Earthquakes and Life Beyond. So that's all on quitefrankly.tv. As soon as this stream ends, go and check it out and enjoy the late night with everybody. You guys have been wonderful to hang out with.
Oh,
thank you for having us.
I love it.
Fun as always.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Please.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, let's do it. We'll see you all tomorrow.
So we'll just sleep
I'm
here,
gonna sleep
right?
with-
Yes.
sleep with the kitty.
I said we did a lot of cleaning around here. You can use the couches. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
A Chinaman goes to see the eye doctor. After the exam, the doctor says, "I know why you're having trouble." The Chinaman says, "Why?" Doctor says, "You have a cataract." The Chinaman says, "No, I have a Lincoln Continental." You don't get it? I get it. He drives a Lincoln. What?
Will you shut up?